want to get to the point that there's mold,
Oh,
right?
oh, yeah.
Right. Bathrooms,
Uh-huh.
they get the most traffic, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's no ventilations. You start seeing all this bubbling on the ceiling. You don't want to get to this point, right? You wanna make sure you're doing maintenance. This is gonna be the first podcast of the Just Right Painting podcast.
Is it okay? I'm
Yeah.
surprised to hear that.
We-
Hi, I'm Greg Benevent for Website Depot, and I'm very happy to be here on another podcast. This is my first time down at the Just Right Painting Studios, and I already love being here. I'm very happy today to be joined by Jonathan Rodriguez. Jonathan, how you doing, man?
I'm feeling really pumped up. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for being here. Greg
Yes.
Benevent, I heard a lot about you, and we're gonna make it great today. Hell yeah. I feel that energy.
We like to set the expectations as high as possible at the very
Yeah.
beginning. And, well, no, I'm very pumped to be here too. I mean, this is lovely what you've done just with the studio here at Just Right Painting, and it makes sense that you would have a great backdrop for the studio since it's a painting company. So
Yeah.
so if you could tell us just a little bit, like a bit of an introduction about Just Right Painting for folks that maybe aren't so familiar with the company there, Jonathan.
Okay, Just Right Painting is the best painting company out there.
Wow.
We're located in Los Angeles, California, in
Okay.
Boyle Heights,
Mhm.
and we focus mainly in residential, commercial, HOA, concrete coating, cabinet refinishing, and
Hmm.
we also do prevailing work.
Wow. I mean, I that is great. I mean, I've had so many
Yeah.
people on podcasts that are coming and be like, "Well, we do a very good job. We're very, very happy to be here." You're like, "No, we are the best. There's the
Yeah.
best company you can have." That's great. That's the kind of confidence
Yeah.
that you would want in someone that's doing the painting.
1,000%.
So yeah, so I just listening to some of the things that you talked about there, some of the services you offer. If you could tell us a bit about maybe what goes into residential painting, like what kind of work that you do, when someone might want to reach out to you for residential painting, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so residential, it's also like anything else, you need maintenance, right? So
Mm,
you're gonna see these houses. So there's different type of houses in residential. We have
okay.
stucco
Uh-huh.
houses, we have siding,
Okay.
we have hardy board. There's
Wow.
these new houses that they're color stucco. So
Okay.
basically, you have to look out for maintenance and also
Mm,
even for repainting. You know,
okay.
there's a lot of times that you have the houses that the painting's already fading,
Oh,
and
geez.
then a lot of people don't want to paint them.
Mm,
You have to maintenance the house every
okay.
5 to 7 years, repaint them, make
Okay.
sure you keep them up to maintenance. So basically, what we do
Uh-huh.
is a lot of times the homeowners don't have the right information.
Oh,
So that's
geez.
why we're here. Don't worry about it. We're the experts in the industry.
Okay.
So it's not that hard. You just
Mhm.
call Just Right Painting,
Mhm.
and we come out there. We give
Okay.
you a price. We go over all the concerns, take pictures,
Uh-huh.
turn in a detailed bid, areas of concerns,
Mm,
either if it's interior, exterior, it doesn't matter. If it's a
okay.
small house,
Mhm.
if it's a high rise, doesn't matter. Shopping center.
Oh, wow.
But going back to residential, right? So residential.
I'm going to ask you about commercial eventually. Yes, you did jump ahead.
So if it's a small house or if
Mhm.
it's a custom house, if it's a
Okay.
Beverly Hills house, so it all depends, right? But keep it to between the 5 to 7 year range
Okay.
for repainting, right? So we
Mhm.
come in, we
Mhm.
turn in the price in about what couple days
Oh,
max.
wow.
If it's me,
That
I
is
do it in
fast.
couple hours.
Whoa.
But usually we
Wow.
have a 24 to 48 hour around
Okay. That
turnaround.
seems sensible and yet still efficient.
From there, we
Mhm.
you review your bids. Usually people get 3 bids.
Okay.
You compare that they're apples to apples
Mhm.
because many times it tends to have that people don't look at the scope of work. People look at the
Oh,
price,
okay.
right? So that's not good. People want
Ah,
to pay less, right? So you want to
right.
make sure you're getting the quality, apples to
Mm.
apples,
Oh, geez.
same service.
Mhm.
Make sure they're insured, they're licensed, they have
Mhm.
a workers' comp, they have a vehicle insurance as well,
Oh,
and that the
right.
coverages are to the standards, right?
Uh-huh.
So you want to make sure they're licensed, bonded as well.
Okay.
So all these things,
Mhm.
that's how you get the quote. So we come in, we give you the quote,
Mm.
then you make a decision. Once you make the decision, then you get the VIP experience, the
Oh,
Just Right Painting experience.
just right painting
How they
experience.
call it in the business world, the executive experience.
Okay.
So basically, that's what it is, right? So that's how it works, right? So
Yeah.
we come in, we
Mhm.
do the quote, turn in the
Mhm.
quote. You decide to go with us.
Hmm.
then you're not getting only myself or
Okay.
just right painting.
Uh-huh.
You're getting the entire team. You're
Oh,
getting
wow.
the office.
Huh.
You're getting the estimators. You're getting
Okay.
the crew leaders, the
Hmm.
supervisors, the entire team.
Hmm.
It's not just a painting job for us.
Yeah, I'm
This is
getting
not
that.
just a brush out
Uh-huh.
of a can. This is more like a real deal. You know, it's
Uh-huh.
we come in, we do a pre-job walk,
Okay.
and then we go over colors.
Oh,
We
wow.
set
This is
expectations.
comprehensive.
Yeah, we set expectations and we start the work.
Hmm.
If it's more detailed, then we put up samples. And
Mm.
sometimes there's a lot of colors, and the homeowner doesn't know what to expect and doesn't
Mm.
know, I mean, how the color is going to look, right? So we put up samples.
Hmm.
We start the work, and we keep the customer informed
Okay.
at all times, from
Great.
the beginning
Uh-huh.
to the end. Keep them informed, then do and perform quality inspections. At
Mm.
the end, we deliver we call it color schedule. So the
Okay.
color schedule has all the colors listed
Okay.
that the customer is probably going to use in reference in a few years from now for touch-ups,
Oh, for when it comes time to do that repainting that you'd mentioned earlier.
repainting,
Okay.
touch-ups,
Mm-hmm.
or just to have them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's residential.
Okay, that is a truly comprehensive answer. I
Yeah.
had a million. No, that's great. I mean, that's fantastic. I'm thinking like he's going to stop and I'm asking a
Yeah.
question. No, he's not. He's still
Yeah.
going. But that's how
Okay.
much goes into this. That's how much you
Yeah.
folks put
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
this residential painting.
Yeah.
I was struck by so many
And
different things.
and it could
Please,
and
please.
it could be more extensive. That's just
Right.
there
That's like
there
the basics almost,
that's
as much as there's a
basic.
basics
That's
to
pretty
this.
basic. We can go
Uh,
out loud with Venetian plasters, full
Oh
finishing,
wow. Okay.
cabinet refinishing. Like, I mean, it's a whole different beast, right? So,
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, that's
Uh-huh.
residential. That's a typical process.
Hmm. And,
Yeah.
I'm so struck by how you use the word typical to describe that when it was still so detailed,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
comprehensive, and
Yeah.
so vast in
Yeah.
terms of the number of services that you offer, and
Yeah.
simply what would be just that's the basics. That's the
Exactly.
start of
That's the
what your straight painting
basis,
offers.
and I mean, we think that should be the basis for every company, right? Because people
Mm.
are like, okay, give me a price. I'm gonna paint the exterior, $20,000. What does that mean? Right?
It does sound like, oh yeah, so we get the absolute lowest bidder for the worst job. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of
Yeah.
what is everyone's kind of looking for. I was struck by the one. I mean, again, I had a million questions about it, but the one that kind of jumped out at me as you were talking about a lot of that, Jonathan, was like, what there was so much in there where you talked about, like, hey, a few times you referenced, something the homeowner might not be aware of, or something that not everyone knows, or something like that. And I couldn't help but ask, what are some things you obviously have extensive experience with this? What are some things that you wish maybe a homeowner that come across this video that you wish they knew about painting that maybe they don't know that might make things better for their home and for contacting Just Right Painting?
So there's many things, but I'm gonna only name a few to keep it short. But one of the most
That's sort of what I
important
thought. Yeah.
one of the most important things is, like, I mean, you gotta look out for your wood, right? The wood
Mm.
usually tends to flake off, starts getting rotted.
Ah.
There's termites, so you want to watch out for termites. There's remaining on the wood.
Oh,
They fall off
jeez.
the fascia boards, the windows, the
Huh.
doors. Basically, everything that has to do with wood,
Uh-huh.
including siding. Sometimes
Yeah.
there's gonna be remaining, so you want to have a termite inspection, and you
Mm.
want to call us to give you a price to do that. That's just
Okay.
one of the things.
I didn't
Also,
know
you
that was
want
you
to
guys
look
did
out.
that too. Wow.
You want to look out on the foundation.
Mm.
Usually on the foundation, a lot of homeowners, they're like, oh, I'm gonna do landscaping. What they do, they install all these sprinklers so close to the surface that they don't know that they're damaging the foundation.
Oh,
So
jeez.
one little tip that I can give you: look out for your foundation. Make sure
Mm.
that the sprinklers are not hitting the surface every single morning. You want to
Oh.
redirect them to point away from the surface,
Okay.
or go into a drip system.
Oh.
And if you don't have the money, then have your gardener do it by hand slowly.
Wow.
I mean, just as simple as that. You know?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's again, I was struck by it's Just Right Painting, and I asked you what you wish people know, and it was all things that had nothing to do with, like you said, exterior paint or
Yeah,
interior paint.
yeah,
That was all the landscape and all that. But that's
yeah,
just, I think that just kind of shows again, as we've displayed here, just how comprehensive
yeah.
and your services are in terms of what you folks really take care of. Like,
That's what we do.
mhm.
Interior, I'll give you one or two examples as well. I mean,
Please, absolutely.
kitchen,
Uh,
bathrooms,
uh-huh.
they get the most traffic, right?
Oh
So
yeah.
there's no ventilations. You start seeing all this bubbling on the ceiling. You don't want to get to this point, right? You wanna make sure you're doing maintenance.
Hmm.
I know interiors it's not exposed to the elements,
Right.
but it's exposed to the moisture. The moisture,
Mm.
the heat in the kitchen. So you want to
Oh,
make sure you're doing every year. You want to repaint
okay.
every year. Kitchen and bathroom only. I'm not saying the
Okay.
whole thing. I mean, you want
Uh-huh.
to get to the point. You don't want to get to the point that there's mold,
Oh,
right?
go. Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Because
Oh.
a lot of times, honestly,
Mhm.
who showers with the window open? Oh, the neighbor's gonna see me. This you want privacy, right?
That's the idea. I mean,
so
that's yes, that's
so yeah.
yeah. You know, it's cold
So
sometimes in the mornings and at nights, even here in Los
yeah,
Angeles. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, those are two
Mhm.
other things that I would probably say.
Gotcha. No,
Yeah.
that covers so much. I mean, again, I could ask a million questions, but I feel you've touched on it. I feel compelled to ask now about the if that's the residential services,
Yeah.
just in the nutshell of just right painting.
Yeah.
You tell us about the commercial as well. I mean, just having been on your site for a minute, there's such an extensive portfolio as well. Tell us a bit about. You gave us the basics for residential. What are some of the basics for commercial painting here?
So
Mhm.
the basics for commercial painting,
Mhm.
the bidding process is about the same,
Mm.
even though for other contractors it's different.
Oh,
Because they probably can take up to 2 weeks to turn in the bids. It's
wow.
usually commercial is
Okay.
bigger,
Oh, yeah, yeah. It makes
so
sense. Bigger than a house. Yeah.
it involves different things like scaffolding sometimes,
Mm.
boom lift, or
Okay.
even we just finished a property down in I think it's Mid City by
Okay.
La Brea and Pico. It's a big shopping center,
Uh-huh.
and this one required boom lifts, swing stage. It was more extensive,
Wow.
but even though it was more
Sounds expensive.
extensive,
Yeah.
I was able to provide a bid the following day. Why?
Oh, wow.
Why?
Uh-huh.
Because we have the best estimating software. So our estimating software, it
Oh.
was made by us.
Okay.
So basically, we
Uh-huh.
have the most competitive systems. So we're able
Huh.
to come in,
Wow.
measure the area,
Uh-huh.
measure the height,
Mhm.
and then just put it in our system, and we can get you a price
Mhm.
accurate,
Mhm.
fast,
Mhm.
and competitive, right?
Wow.
And it includes everything.
Mhm.
Commercial,
Yeah.
even though it's bigger, we
Uh-huh.
could turn it in on the spot. And also, one of the different processes between commercial and residential is that we got to post notices. So
Oh,
basically, there's
right. Yeah.
tenants. So
Mhm.
a lot of
Mhm.
contractors don't understand how important is to not impact the the
Right.
businesses
Yeah.
of tenants, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. No, you can't be interfering with that during the
So
painting. Yeah.
so what do
Oh,
we do?
mhm.
Why are we
Please.
different?
Yeah.
Why? It's really simple. We use common sense. But common sense now is not common sense anymore,
Oh yeah, no, no, no.
right?
That we left that
Yeah,
behind some time ago. Unfortunately, yes.
common sense. We do a pre-job walk, but we have a
Okay.
simple checklist, like any other
Ah.
others. Like people do,
Hmm.
oh, what's there's no such things as systems. It's what works. Keep it simple,
Yes.
foundational,
Uh-huh.
common sense. We go out, we knock every single door,
Hmm.
we talk to the manager
Hey.
or the owner of the business, and
Uh-huh.
we go over the details to every single one of the business owners. We explain to them that there's going to be an upcoming project in the next couple months
Okay.
and what are their working hours. After we get all the working hours from all the businesses,
Hmm.
then we do a game plan.
Oh.
How do we do this game
Yeah,
plan?
yeah,
We
yeah.
do the game plan around the business hours. So let's say
Oh.
they start at 10,
Okay.
we start at 3,
Hmm.
right? So we
Yeah.
have 5 hours. There's no cars,
Hmm.
there's no overspray. You were
Right.
just working around traffic and
Yeah.
business. They're able to operate.
Uh-huh.
Once the last couple hours, we're just doing cleanup, maybe
Hmm.
working on the back,
Yeah.
maybe doing some paperwork. That's how we
Mhm.
handle it.
Right. Something that's not definitely not going to interfere
Yeah.
with someone's
Yeah.
business. Hmm.
Also, we provide free color renderings. What
Oh.
is color rendering?
Yeah.
Color renderings is color imaging.
Mm.
What's color imaging? Color imaging is something that you come in, you take pictures, put in the computer, we change the colors to whatever color you want,
Mhm.
and we deliver a sheet with the face of the building and
Okay.
with the colors.
Wow.
We actually don't do that. We bring in the manufacturer,
Oh,
whoever
geez.
it is. We work with all manufacturers: Don
Okay.
Edwards,
Uh-huh.
Sherwin Williams,
Oh.
Benjamin Moore, Cali Moore, Bear Paints, Ferro and Ball. Man, you name it. We work with
Yeah,
every
those are all the
manufacturer,
companies I know that do this.
and
Yeah.
we have the best price.
Wow.
Why? Because we buy over $1 million in paint. So you get the
Oh,
best pricing, even in Home Depot.
okay. Wow.
Yeah, we get the extra discount, the extra VIP discount.
Oh, I mean, I was thinking every time there was something I was going to ask a question for, you asked the question of yourself, and that was great. I was like, I don't have to do anything. This is tremendous. But I was so struck by, as you were talking about that, so many of the things you said about how, we talk to the other tenants, we have this game plan, all of that just seems like it comes so much from experience, from
Right.
having done this before. You could talk about that. I mean, how long have you folks been around, been doing this? Clearly, you've done a lot of work in whatever amount of time that this Just Right Painting has been with us.
Well, Just Right Painting, as I say, is the best of the best. But
Mm-hmm.
we've been around for about 6 years.
Wow.
Myself, I started doing this when I was 12. So
Whoa.
I'm 34. You can see how much experience we have, 22
Yes.
years in the game.
Wow.
We have the best painters. We have
Mhm.
the best trainings. Why?
Clearly.
Because I know what it is. I've done it. I know how it's to be on the field. I know what's to do a good work, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, so that's why we're the best.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, if there was any doubt at the beginning, and there certainly was not, you have made that very clear
Yeah.
across the course of our conversation today. I did want to ask about when I go to your site, and when I scroll down, one of the top first things I see is HOA painting. If you could tell us a bit about that, and maybe how, I
A,
mean, we've covered the other commercial and residential. We should
a,
cover this as well. If you
a
could tell us
thousand
about it.
percent.
Mm-hmm.
HOA. What's HOA? Everybody, HOA. What's HOA? Homeowners Association. So that's what it stands for.
Mm-hmm.
HOA. It means that it's going to be anywhere from a 3 unit
Okay.
to 1,000 unit. It
Oh,
could be
geez.
5,000 unit.
Oh,
How do we handle this?
yeah.
It's similar to commercial, but it's a little bit different.
Okay.
So usually commercial
Mm-hmm.
is a business owner or maybe multiple business owners,
Mm-hmm.
but usually it's just one, maybe one
Okay.
or two.
I see. Yeah.
HOA is more like they have a board members and then they have a management company. So you gotta be
Mm.
able to also be detailed. So it's really similar,
Uh-huh.
but also we post the notices. We
Okay.
do the color imaging.
Mhm.
We bring in the manufacturer as well. But
Wow.
this is more like posting more notices.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, because
Yeah,
those other people live in there too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Posting
Mhm.
more notices, but not in the meaning printing out more and printing it, but more like an email blast
Mm.
that the management company does or the HOA president. They send out a email blast. We put notices on the mailboxes,
Mhm.
maybe on the entry of the unit doors, and then as we're doing and going,
Mhm.
uh, we continue posting notices as we're going. So let's say
Mm.
we're doing the stucco first,
Okay. Yeah.
and then we go to the. It could be the railings,
Okay.
it could be the courtyard, whatever
Mhm.
it is. We post notices and we keep
Mhm.
the tenants informed, and then
Mm.
finally we do the doors usually.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see. That'd be the last
and then a
conversation.
lot of times like we do the doors, but people don't open the door. Obviously, we post a notice
Okay.
for Thursday, and yeah, I mean they gotta go to work, right?
Right. Oh,
So
yeah. You can't
who's
just
gonna
stay
say
inside because
yeah,
it's
say
getting
yeah,
painted.
painter?
Yeah. Mhm.
I'll miss work. No, they don't do that. Yeah. So basically, as a
Mhm.
courtesy, we come in on a Saturday, and we
Okay.
don't charge overtime. So we come in on a Saturday, and we get
Hmm.
all those doors that weren't painted. And
Okay.
if we have to come in multiple Saturdays, then we'll do so.
Right. That's just what you'll do. I mean,
Yeah.
that just shows again the further commitment to actually getting all of
Exactly.
this done. That's tremendous.
So basically, we do those additional things, but on top of that, we do everything that we do for commercial and residential. So
Mm.
you can see how it starts building up.
Yeah. I can see that just sitting here talking to you. I can see how
Yeah.
this builds up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that explains so much about how the HOA process works. I was struck by, and I think you mentioned it earlier in our conversation today about, again, the company's called Just Right Painting, but not all of, but you offer more services on your site than
Yeah.
simply painting.
Yeah.
I believe it's also, I want to get this right, concrete floor coating.
Yeah.
What?
Concrete coating. So
Okay. Yeah.
so
Tell us about this.
so so basically concrete coating, it's simple.
Okay.
So we come in, we do a moisture test content. So basically we don't want any moisture on the concrete so the paint
That
can
makes sense.
last.
Hmm.
And we use a product called a polyaspartic or polyurea. So this
Mm.
product is a two component, and basically what we'll do after we do that test, once you guys, I mean the process is the same, estimating process, 1 day process. I'll turn in the bid.
Uh-huh.
When you decide to move forward, then we'll come in, we'll do another test
Mm.
content, make sure that it doesn't have any moisture,
Sure.
and if it does, then obviously we treat it differently.
Yeah.
If it does have moisture,
Hmm.
then what we'll do is that we'll do a barrier, a moisture barrier,
Barrier.
right?
Okay.
And
Yeah.
then because a lot of times you can't get rid of it, so you do
Oh
a
yeah. Just
moisture
powder.
barrier,
Yeah. Hmm.
and then we'll do a primer, right? So we'll do a primer, and then we'll
Okay.
do 2 coats of the polyaspartic or polyurea.
Wow.
That's the first option.
Okay.
The second option would be more like the simple option is come in, grind it down to the concrete.
Whoa.
Even though it's not painted, we still grind it down. We grind
Mm.
it down, or
Okay.
we grind it, and we do 2 coats of the polyurea. And
Okay.
you have an option of doing flake system, solid, or solid with silica sand. We
Mm.
can also do like metallic finishes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I assume that's the kind of thing where you would talk to the client if maybe they weren't 100%, which would
Yeah.
be like, hey, this would be the good
Yeah.
fit for you, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And just so
Okay.
you know, we could get a floor in as fast as one day. We come in the
Wow.
morning, grind it down, do the 2 top coats, and then finish it off.
Wow. I mean, I
If
feel
you,
like I shouldn't be surprised at
yeah,
this point, but I'm still surprised.
yeah,
That is amazing.
and that's mainly for the like the floors that are in better condition. Obviously, if it's really
Mm.
bad, that there's a lot of damages,
Certainly.
then it's gonna go into 2 or 3 days.
Which gets back to what you were talking about earlier. If
Yeah,
there's a lot of things to do, then they have to be dealt with right.
exactly.
And on that same topic, cabinet refinishing, was that the other thing that I noticed?
Yeah,
I was like, yeah,
yeah,
tell us about that. That just seems again like it's just right. Painting just does so much.
yeah. So cabinet refinishing, what's the process involved? It's about the same process that we spoke about the bidding process,
Okay.
but in the work it's a little bit different. So a lot of people think, okay, it's gonna be how much is it for my cabinet? So people are thinking it's gonna be a small price,
Okay.
but no, it's a whole different beast. It's a
Oh,
whole different
jeez.
animal here. So
Uh-huh.
basically, the
Mhm.
cabinet refinishing is more like a 5 to 6 day process.
Okay.
It's a little bit different. We have to clean the surface
Mhm.
with TSP. It's a degreaser TSP,
Oh,
crud cutter,
okay.
some type of solvent that is going to get rid of all the grease.
Okay,
Usually,
something
because
heavy duty. Yeah.
sometimes it looks like it doesn't have any grease, but even like the hand grease, the
Oh,
hand
right.
grease,
From someone touching it forever, opening that door.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
then
years.
even if you prime, then it's probably going to fail
Oh,
over time.
jeez.
So
Mhm.
you want to clean it, and after cleaning it, you want to sand it. You want to make
Mm.
sure it has a sound surface for the primer to adhere properly, right?
Okay.
But before doing that, obviously you clean up the well,
Mhm.
the first thing is the preparation, right?
Mhm.
So you want to take off all the doors,
Mhm.
take off all the hinges, take off all the knobs, cover all the openings, cover the
Mm.
countertops, make sure
Okay.
everything's covered,
Covered as
right?
much as possible.
Masked
Mhm.
off, all surrounding surfaces.
Mhm.
Then you do the cleaning. Then we do the sanding, and then we
Mm.
do a top coat. Usually we use lacquer, but we
Oh,
can also do a water base as well.
okay.
And then we do either 1 or 2 coats of, depending on the surface, 1 or 2 coats of the lacquer undercoater, and then we do 2 top coats of the lacquer or water base, whatever it is.
Wow.
But yeah, we do that as well.
That is comprehensive. So yeah, so I guess just a couple more questions I had for you. What if someone like when I know a lot of people kind of think like, oh, geez, I don't have to get my home or my business repainted anytime soon. I mean, what are some signs that people typically don't look at or ignore about or aren't realize where hey, maybe it is time to get things even touched up or repainted or anything like that.
Uh, there's a lot of things. So basically, on the exterior, you can see
Mhm.
rust coming out of the railings,
Mm.
foundation, paint
Mhm.
flaking off,
Mhm.
the window glazing around the French windows flaking off,
Oh, geez.
blistering,
Oh,
uh, fading. When the
okay.
paint starts fading, it's gonna start flaking. So
Mm.
basically, maybe you want to do an inspection and inspect
Mm.
every couple of years. We do free estimates. We
Oh,
do free inspections.
there you
So you
go.
can always call us. And then for the interior, I mean, for the interior, it lasts a little bit longer. But also, you want to check the bathrooms. You want to check the kitchens. You want to make
Mhm.
sure your house has ventilations. And then for the commercial, same thing. You want to look for the paint. You want to look for any wood rotted, any
Mm.
termites,
Mm.
any stucco repairs.
Oh,
And same thing with the HOA. It's similar on the maintenance.
oh,
Maybe
got it.
looking out for the foundation areas,
Gotcha.
and especially the wood. You want to make sure you
Mm.
paint the wood every couple years.
Okay, I mean that certainly seems so sensitive. Well, those are all the questions I have for you. Is there anything that you would like to tell people that maybe come across this video, or something that I didn't ask you, or something that you just like to say to somebody that, maybe was looking at different painting companies and happened to come across this video, or just anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to say?
Well, I would like to say a million things, but I'm gonna say this. You want to say this. You want to
Okay.
make sure you're hiring the right contractors, checking for their
Mm.
insurances, making
Mhm.
sure they're licensed, making
Mm.
sure they're bonded,
Mhm.
making sure you're comparing apples to apples,
Mm.
and yeah. So maybe that's some of the things that I want to throw out there, and also just give us a call. Give us a call. It's we do free estimates, and there's not a small or a big job. We do anywhere from a book a painter. So we have a book a painter program that
Okay.
nobody offers.
Oh, wow.
And a book a painter could be just a small little project, a 1 day guy,
Yeah.
or we could do $1 million project. Doesn't
Oh,
matter.
wow.
We do it all. We also do pressure washing.
Huh.
So we kind of take it all over the place,
I
right?
can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that's great. That was I know I say this every time I come onto one of these things. I learned a lot, but I genuinely did learn a lot. I got a
Right.
lot out of that. That was
Well, thank you. Thank you. I
thank you
was
so
able
much
to
for
give
having
you
me
some
down here,
nuggets.
Jonathan. This was great. I was so glad to be here. Thank you for
And
this.
then
Please,
one last
of
thing.
course, no, keep going.
Please subscribe to Just Right
There
Painting
you go.
Podcast.
Absolutely, yes. It's
YouTube. Follow
mhm.
us on all social media platforms. Just Right Painting _ on Instagram. And we can find us on TikTok, LinkedIn. We did a page. We're all
Hey.
over the place. Just go to Just Right Painting. Follow us for more tips.
There you go. On behalf of Website Depot, it was great seeing you, Jonathan.
Thank you,
All right.
Greg.
I'm Greg Benjamin from Website Depot. Take it easy. Have a good night.
Let's get it.